Before I start today's video, I need to check in with you. How is the 30-day just write the damn track, just finish the damn track challenge going for you? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back 2 videos or 3 videos on this channel and you'll see that I offered a challenge for those of you that are struggling to finish your tracks. If that's you and you have 25% of it or 50% of it done and then you just don't finish it, that is the challenge you need to partake in to change your approach to producing music just for 30 days. I'm not asking you to do this for the rest of your life, but just try a different approach for 30 days. If you see that it's helping you, keep doing it. If you find no difference, not really helping that much, okay, didn't work for you. But you know, the definition of insanity, as much as it's a cliche, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something else to happen, that's not how life works. You got to change the approach if you're not getting the results that you want. So leave a comment below and let me know how that challenge is going for you, if you're seeing some really good things happening for your motivation, for your productivity. But today I want to talk about over listening back to your tracks. And this is a big problem with producers. I remember when I was getting started in the licensing business and kind of getting into the record business as well, being in tons of different studios, there was plenty of different artists and producers. And I remember the biggest problem and the thing that annoyed me the most about most producers and most artists is they would write something in the track and then they would hit play. And it would literally be 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes multiple hours of just listening back to the small amount of progress that they had done. And they'll just sit there listening for way too long to something that's not even completed yet. And I think there are 2 things happening there. Sometimes it's about finding inspiration for where to go with the track. Absolutely, you should be doing that if that's your process, okay? But there's another part of it where artists and producers are just trying to like get high on their own supply. That's really what a lot of producers do. They write a cool beat, they got a cool chord progression, they hit play, and then they're just kind of stroking their ego for an hour, you know, just like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. This is dope. This is awesome. And they're just getting hyped up. Sometimes what they're doing when they do that, and you might be doing this as well, you might not be aware of it, is they're actually convincing themselves that it's a really great track when it's actually not. Okay. And we all do this. I'm guilty of it myself. I will always think that what I'm doing, well, not always, but a lot of times I will try to, if I'm spending hours, and you know this phenomenon, right? You spent 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours in the studio, you hit bounce, and you think this is awesome, it's great. You go to sleep, you come back in the studio, next day you hit play, and you're like, what happened to the track I was making yesterday? This is terrible. This is not it. And you're just not nearly as excited, right? That's because you spent 12 hours in the studio basically like brainwashing yourself, like hypnotizing yourself into believing this is the best song ever, okay? That's the danger in spending too much time in playback, right? Here's what I think playback is for, what it should be used for. It's a tool, okay? Just like everything else you do when you produce music, they're just all tools. Playing back your track is a tool as well. Primarily, it should not be used for getting you hyped up, okay? What you should be using playback for during the creative process, like your track's not done yet, is scanning for errors. That's what it's for. You zoom in on the kick and the snare and the bass and the synths and the sound effects, transitions, and all that stuff. When you zoom out and hit that play button, that should be you seeing, is it all melding together? Is it working together? Are things breathing together? Are all the instruments singing together? Does it feel complete? Oh, did I have a really awkward transition here? Is this snare not really snapping as hard? Maybe when I added this synth, it kind of blocked out something else. You're kind of getting the 10,000 foot view, and you're scanning for the problems. That should be what you're doing with the playback process, looking for things you can improve. Not going, I'm awesome, that's great, and this is perfect, and this is awesome. There is a time and place for that, don't get me wrong. But during the creative process, if you want to speed up your productivity and get tracks done faster, wait till the end to get high on your own supply, right? Wait till the track is completely finished and you can actually hit play from start to the end. And then you can have that one moment or multiple playbacks if you want and just crank it up and just have a party, right? Have fun. But that is, you shouldn't be celebrating your success when it's not done yet. You know what I'm saying? It's like giving yourself a round of applause before the track is done. You don't deserve that yet, okay? You deserve that when it's completed. So during the creative process, you should be hitting probably, I'd say, every 45 minutes to an hour, maybe sooner, depending on how fast you produce. But about every hour, you should Get out of the small zoomed in section of whatever you're working on, come back out, hit play, and just listen to the entire process that you have, or maybe the section that you're working on, and just try to refresh your brain, refresh your ears, and try to be skeptical and put yourself in the shoes of somebody that's never heard this, and just hit play and go, am I buying this? Is this cool? Is it delivering a particular emotion, the emotion that you wanted to get? If you're using a reference track, which you should, hit play on the reference track for about 30 seconds. Get that in your mind. Get that in your ears. Go hit play on yours. Be honest. Am I in the same ballpark? Am I following it? Is it even believable? Did I rip it off too much? Do I need to like get away from it a little bit? I mean, you really got to scan for the problems. That's what you're doing, what you should be doing with playback. Don't get high on your own supply well before you should. That was the one issue that always bugged me about a lot of producers and mostly artists in studios, is I could tell what they were doing. You know, it wasn't that they were scanning for something that they could improve upon. It was just that they loved being in a studio that had, like $1 million speaker system in it, and they just wanted to crank it up, and they wanted to be the rock star of their own life and just have their music. I mean, if you've never been in a huge studio and had your music playing through the speakers, there is something very intoxicating about it, okay? You definitely get the endorphin rush. You get that sort of dopamine hit of like, damn, like I'm at a rock concert, like a stadium, and they're cranking my music. It does get you real high, but it can be counterintuitive or counterproductive, because it gets you feeling like your track is way better than it is. You can turn up almost like just the worst track ever and turn it up in huge loudspeakers, and it'll probably sound a lot better, just because it's so epic, right? And you're probably not even hearing a lot of the little issues, just because it's so loud that your brain can't process all that stuff. It's almost like you're just feeling it, like your body actually feels the sound waves, the kick and all that kind of stuff, physically moving your body. Okay, that's not the place that you can have a critical ear if your body's being shook around. Okay, your ears are not going to be able to pick out the things that need to start being changed. So this was definitely a thing that recently rose in the came up in the syndicate as a part of this 30-day challenge, that one of the members realized that's what he was doing, is he was spending way too much time trying to just convince himself that he loved the track, or did he not love the track, and it was just all this debating. Don't spend that time. That's a waste of time, okay? Just start the track, get your inspiration, get your reference track, and hit playback to check out your errors. Fix those errors, zoom back in, work for, be the surgeon, basically go in there, fix those little things, come back out, get that $10,000 foot view, and just scan. Basically, that's what you should be doing, scan. Once you've done all that, then hit bounce, light up your cigar, crank it up in your speakers, enjoy that last listen, or multiple listens, a dozen listens. If you just love it, go play it in your car, go have all that fun after the work is done, okay? Don't celebrate it beforehand. That's another reason why people don't finish tracks, is they're getting high on it, loving it before the thing is actually finished. It's like you've messed your whole incentive system up. It's like you basically getting halfway through, let's say you're a contractor, you get halfway through the job and the client pays you all the money. You should still get the job done, but you understand that you don't have anything hanging over you afterwards to say like, well, I need to make sure I really finish this so I get that last half of the payment, right? It's like you already got all the money. So what does that do to your motivation towards the end? We're just human, guys, all right? Like this is just, I believe that in some ways it's like input in, output out, that kind of a thing. You put good incentives in, you're going to get a better output out. In many ways, I think we do have like sort of robotic responses to incentives. So you need to create your own incentives, your own good incentives. And that's what this video is hopefully meant to do. So if you like this, please leave a like and remember to subscribe.